Today we're interviewing Rob Levandoski. Rob is a safety engineer by education and by trade. He has been for the past 7 years president of Fuss & O'Neill's Manufacturing Solutions Group. Let's spend some time with Rob. Talk to Rob. So, hi Rob. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Our audience would be very interested to learn about Fuss & O'Neill, what it does, what segments it serves, what are the services it provides to its clients. So give us a little thumbnail.
So Manufacturing Solutions is a group of talented individuals where we combine focus of employee health and safety, equipment safety, as well as total preventative maintenance or total productive maintenance, along with lean practices. And these are executed at a broad range of clients, primarily manufacturing and industrial clients, but our services also include similar type support for universities, institutions such as hospitals, and private industry. Incorporated is a traditional engineering company, engineering consulting company. They provide structural engineering, civil engineering, transportation, roadway improvement engineering, environmental engineering, such as permitting, treatment technology, and construction-related services, where we have a design-build group. And these are brought into services provided primarily in the Northeast, but they follow key client services, so they could also provide that type of support in other locations throughout the country.
Okay. And you've been president of the segment that you're Manufacturing Solutions now for how long?
So I've been president with Manufacturing Solutions since about 2015, and I started with Fuss & O'Neill back in 2002.
Wow. Okay. And tell us a little bit about you, both the president of Manufacturing Solutions. What's that side, and what's the Rob Levandoski from a personal side?
So from the personal side, I grew up in the Northeast, and I typical young kid down on the shoreline. I had a lot of interests, and I was lucky enough to have the freedom to search and figure out what I wanted to do in life. And so in high school, I was really into music, and then I had obtained my pilot's license, my private pilot's license, as prior to graduating high school. And at that time, I wanted to be either working for the FAA or I wanted to be a mechanic. But aviation really was interesting to me. And another one of the things that I enjoyed doing is I joined the fire department when I was in high school as well. And, I had this battle between, do I want to do FAA aviation or do I want to do fire service? And, I never really made a choice out of the two of them. And my father, through his wisdom, actually brought me to college, which I really didn't recognize, but when he brought me up there, it was my orientation. So he sort of facilitated me getting into college, and I was so naive at that time. But
geographically, Rob, where is this taking place?
This
New
is
England?
this is all New England. Yes, all New England centric. Yeah, I grew up in Connecticut.
Okay.
I grew up in Connecticut, and I went to college in New Hampshire, and you were never too far away from home, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
What I ended up finding out was after a while, I wasn't really sure I wanted to be a music teacher or a musician, and it was only by fate that there was a safety program at the college that I went to, Keene State up in New Hampshire, and they had a safety fundamentals of safety program. And I said, geez, I'm an EMT. I've taken this firefighter certification stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just take one of these fundamental, basic courses, these 101 courses.
Sure.
And the next semester, I think I took 7. So I graduated in 3 years out of Keene State with a safety degree, and went and transferred out to California, Southern California, to do asbestos work and sampling and program development. And I found that Southern California was a little too busy for me, so I came back east and was working for an insurance company and went to grad school. And I really started to get very, very focused in safety from the industrial and manufacturing world. And that was really the kickstart to my profession.
Excellent.
Yeah. I worked for a toy manufacturer, for Lego, for many years. And through a transition, an organizational transition at Lego, I retained the services of Fuston O'Neill to support me at Lego. And that led to me then transitioning over to work at Fuston O'Neill. So it's sort of a lengthy process, but here I am today. And I came into Fuston O'Neill as a consultant, and I was really fortunate enough to transition into manufacturing solutions at a very early stage. And again, back to being a little naive in the business world, I had 2 tremendous mentors. One was my predecessor, John Kravanka, and the other was a business executive, Mike Curtis. And they really provided me a great platform to grow into the president role at manufacturing.
Yeah, mentors are just so important. We don't recognize, I don't think, what's happening at the time, but then after the fact, we look back and say, boy, that was really a great experience and great relationship I had.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for, I would say, 3 or 4 key people in my whole life. I wouldn't be where I am today without 3 or 4 people. And it's to your point, when you go back and look and reflect, you don't appreciate the value that those mentors, the informal and formal mentors you had, how influential they are to be where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So also, how has that uncertainty affected your clients and the work that they require?
Manufacturing Solutions was very fortunate throughout the original start of the what we'll call the uncertain times, again, being primarily COVID affected.
Right.
Throughout that whole 2020, 2021, and even into 2022, we have been traveling the whole time, surely air travel to various clients across the country. And really, it hasn't affected Manufacturing Solutions per se. It's actually allowed us to navigate and better understand what our clients' needs are. And it allowed increased communication to help clients navigate and identify what they really needed in the way of employee safety, as well as through key topics like machine readiness, machine safeguarding. Many companies would shut down their operation due to limited employees or COVID restrictions and state decision making. And that allowed us to get in and help with that, what I'm going to call the deferred maintenance world of safety and health and machine preparation and readiness. And it was very successful for our clients. and it was very successful for Fuss and O'Neill. So from a readiness perspective, our services were really helpful to our clients.
In general, because of lack of availability of clients being in their offices or in their manufacturing space and so forth, were revenues impacted in the short term in a negative fashion, or?
For manufacturing, yeah, for the company, we did not actually have any financial impact. In fact, we were more interested in strategic growth and opportunistic growth. Again, the Chicago area was really a hot spot for us, and we were fortunate enough to have companies keep their doors open and identify the need that they had that we could fulfill. Not to say that everything was great. We did have some of our key clients, our larger clients, really put restrictions on us. And I think not only on Fuss and O'Neill, but on all of their contracted services.
Yes.
Where that was okay. So we just navigated from one to another, and it was very successful for us throughout the past 2 or 3 years. We have not had hard times.
That's terrific. That's really so you were able to navigate around that challenge, I guess, successfully. How do you stay up to date, given what you're providing to clients, which is a combination of experience and more importantly, the content of certain subject matter areas and so forth? How do you stay up to date? It seems like it would be challenging.
It's interesting how that question is phrased. Staying up to date is really, it's not as great of a challenge as I would have originally anticipated. Whether it's fortunately or unfortunate, depending upon the scenario you're looking at, our clients come to us because they're having a problem. And our goal is to help them solve that problem. And no client or no two clients always have the same exact problem. There are always some similarities, but there are always those individual characteristics that force you to review technology, review process information, research resolution opportunities, and to look at what information is out there. And these conditions force you to be well prepared prior to going to those locations or those client locations. And I think the job has really transformed from being a service industry to really being a problem-solving industry or a problem-solving role, and really preparing so we can learn to figure it out or figure out a resolution plan. So I don't think it's a never-ending venture. You're always looking at something new, something different, and trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this case? And so it's a continuum of data collection and information sharing, information gathering. It's actually the invigorating part of the job, because I think folks can get into a routine, and this is definitely not a routine. In fact, this is the anti-routine. This is, and that's the exciting part of a job. And I think that's true for the organization. It happens every day where something's changed and we need to figure it out.
How do you spend time to work on the business, not just in the business? I mean, working in the business, you're working for clients, and that dominates most of our time in the businesses that we're in. But where do you find the time, and do you have a process, or what's your approach to working on the business so that you're staying up to date on what you're offering, as well as thinking ahead in terms of what impacts may change what's needed out there?
We continually strive to try and figure out the future. And unfortunately, I don't know that we're very good at doing that. I would say that our success really is driven from collaboration, and it's collaboration not only with our clients, because our clients are looking into the future for their product or for their production or manufacturing needs, but it's also working with colleagues in the profession. I think there's a great restriction that people place on themselves to not collaborate with your competition, and actually learning from your competition or learning with your competition actually offers the greatest benefit, because I think we get to peel that onion back of what are the challenges that we collectively experience, and going to some local conferences or even national conferences to see what other people are challenged with and what they see coming on the forefront for whether it's manufacturing technology or compliance issues or some of the challenges that they deal with. It helps us drive where we should go for our business. I think one of the other you asked a question earlier about the uncertainty of times. I think what that allowed us to do when we had to navigate through changes of client philosophy or client opportunities, it actually forced us to figure out what services should we not be offering. We should try to be everything for everybody. In other words, what are we good at and what are we not good at? And what are our core services and what are the ancillary services? And what we've done is we've stayed very focused now on our core services, things like machine safeguarding, industrial hygiene and safety services, total productive maintenance. And then we really look at integrating safety and lean and trying to eliminate those non-value added functions that are all too common in the production environment. So again, we did a lot of self-reflection as to, okay, what can we do to improve our processes to eliminate waste, but also what can we do to improve our delivery methods to clients. So it was a learning opportunity looking forefront to sort of focus our services and eliminate what I'm going to call the things we really didn't do very well, but you sort of were out there doing it. And again, there are other people that provide those services. So why not get a relationship with those organizations and let them work in collaboration with us for the things that they do well?
Yeah.
And I think really, how did we improve? It's through a variety of those elements.
Yeah. Scope creep gets you into a lot of different businesses that you're really not that good at. And
yes.
Yeah, a good point. I mean, eliminating what you are doing for clients is a smart move to be done every now and then. That's terrific.
Well, people say we're going to lose revenue, and fine, you might lose revenue, initially you think you do, but what you actually garner is an improved relationship and being honest, not only with your client, but also more importantly to yourself, to say, gee, this is a service we could provide, but we don't have all of the right resources. We don't have all of the right information, and we're going to be very ineffective and inefficient at trying to provide those services. So let's just be honest with ourselves. We don't do that well. Let's not do it. Let's help our client find a resource. And sometimes they might bring that resource through us, or sometimes they might go direct, but it's being honest. And I think that's been very good for us for many years now. as we look forward.
Rob, thank you very much for sharing your time with me and my audience today. And I really appreciate the thoughts and the content that we've been able to put on the table for people to take a bite of and see a little bit about Fuss and O'Neill and about manufacturing solutions.
Marty, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.